Oh my god, do you have a charger? I do. It's at home, where I fully charge my phone before I leave the house, like an adult. What can I get you? Drunk? Welcome to episode 21 of Behind Bars, Cocked Tales and Wasted Nights. I'm your host, Greg. I've been working as a bartender for over 20 years, and over those years, I've seen a lot. My goal here is to share some of those high and low lights with you. Quick warning, this podcast contains sex, drugs, and some language that isn't suitable for anyone under 21 years of age, so you gotta have some ID. I know it's been a minute since the last episode, so I figured I'd give you a long one. Girthy, too. With a special guest. So, I got to shoot in the breeze with Keith from the Young Dubliners. And I got to give a shout out to Buck for putting that one together. Aces, man. Aces. Before we get started, you'll need a drink. For this one, I recommend the Irish Mule. Boozy and stubborn, but it doesn't quite make an ass of itself. If you have the copper mug, grab it. But make sure it isn't one of those chintzy ones where all the metal's leaching into your system. In fact, fuck that. Just use a Collins glass. Let's not become mercurial Mad Hatters over a trend. So, in a Collins glass, pour half ounce of lime juice, 2 ounces of Irish whiskey, I like Bushmills, fill with ice and top with ginger beer. Go with Gosling's, Fever Tree, or Cock and Bull. Cock. And as always, if you don't have any of that shit lying around the joint, a shot of tequila and a gator tail will deliver the proper science to your brain case instantly. Ah, disco shit. Okay, on with the interview. Enjoy.
All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cocktails and Wasted Nights. I'm your host, Greg, and I have a special treat for you who you knew about because you read the show notes. I have Keith Roberts, founding member, singer, guitar player for the Young Dubliners. What's up, Keith?
Hello, 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 hello.
How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm coming around after a festive season of fuck all.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it has been a festive season of fuck all. I'm actually rocking like hot water with 3 Earl Grey bags in there just to even out right now.
Wow, you're like that's extreme. I mean, I'm a maybe a bag and a half man, but I don't know. I don't know if I can go the 3 bags.
You don't like to get tea bagged 3 times, Keith?
that's a whole other show. Well, it's funny because American slang has like destroyed everything sacred in Europe. Like, you know, we used to actually think teabagging was putting a fucking teabag in a teacup. Now, God forbid you say that, the whole world looks at you differently.
We do ruin everything.
I blame you, Americans, for this.
Speaking of which, like I'm from Massachusetts, like outside of Boston, and so let me ask you this: the basketball team, it should be the Boston Celtics, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. But you know, I always laugh about this because when we first came over here, we started to realize that you know, even though people all talked about Celtic music and you know, being, you know, we're part of the Celts and all the rest, but then they just said Boston Celtics without even thinking about it. But it's part of, you know, but it's like the Notre Dame, you know, the fighting Irish. Like when I grew up, my country was fairly well non-diverse. Like people talk about your background. You know, I'm a mix of this, I'm a mix of that. It's like we're a mix of nothing. There's definitely Vikings and stuff came over and gave us the wonderful ginger. But other than that, we basically, you know, we're all pretty. We probably are mixtures. We just never thought about it. So when I moved out here, I had met 2 black people in my life growing up who lived in Ireland, and they talked like me. You know, they were raised as Irish kids. But there was literally 2 guys that I knew. So when I came out here and I saw the Notre Dame fighting Irish and realized that there was probably like 3 white guys on the team, it just looked hilarious to me because I was like, holy moly, this is a whole thing. So then I thought, all these black guys have Irish backgrounds? That's amazing. I've got to investigate this more. And come to find out, it was really based on some priest who'd been the coach. So, yeah, I sort of did the Celtic thing. I just let it slide there. With the team because I'm not quite sure how that happened, especially in such an Irish town. You would have assumed that they would have said Celtic. So I'm sure there's a wonderful history to all of that, but it's mind-boggling to me. But I say it too, like, I'm not one of those ones who tries to force my pronunciation on people. You know the way people do that to you all the time. You say something and they want to say it back to you the way it's supposed to be said. Denmark is one of the guiltiest towns where the word is spelt quite obviously Odense. But if, God forbid, you get up on stage and go, hello, Odense, it's Odense. You people are just fucking doing this to make dicks of us, right?
Yeah, we just fuck up the words entirely anyway. It's just like, for all intensive purposes. What? What are you
exactly.
saying? I'll have an espresso.
And also the spellings, that's what I love though, is that in Ireland we grew up spelling colour, C-O-L-O-U-R, for absolutely fuck all reason. That's obviously French. And, the French never invaded us. Where did that come from? And then Czech has to be C-H-E-Q-U-E. And then I come out here and I realize it's spelled, it's Czech. Americans sort of seem to get their English from England, and then they said, you know what, we're just going to spell it like it sounds, you fucking idiots. Why would we make it more difficult? And I like that idea.
It's the only time in America where we make things less fat.
Yeah, you're good at doing the opposite, but no sort of thing.
Speaking of Notre Dame, isn't that in Paris? Just kidding.
That's right.
When you said you grew up in a town with only like a couple of black guys, I thought you were going to say Aspen, but I'm like, they don't do that.
Well, yeah, you could have been interviewing an Irish person or somebody from the Deep South.
So Keith, I just want to get a little background on you, like before you got the band going and everything. Like, so you grew up in Ireland, obviously. Your mom was a celebrity. I'm reading on your Wikipedia page. By the way, I was looking at your Wikipedia page and I decided I'd look myself up. There isn't a page for me, so I'm kind of jealous of you right now. You're kind of having a really...
You're lucky because, Wikipedia, the idea that people can just go on there and update stuff, how fucking dangerous is that?
I was just going to tell you, I put in some really nice edits for you. You should check them out.
Thank you so much. Yeah, all of a sudden I was like, God knows what my genealogy is now.
Oh, mine's half English and half Italian. I got screwed in the gene pool. I ended up pasty and hairy.
That's, you know what? That's a winning combination though in Europe. Don't worry about that. People take medication to be pasty and hairy.
Oh God, sorry. So we were saying you grew up in Ireland. You had a famous mom. Your mom was in show business, so like this was like a natural, evolution for you.
Well, yeah, sort of, except for the fact that she never encouraged it. It was, my mother was in Ireland, we use the word celebrity very loosely. She had a television show that ran for 25 years. It was a daytime, sort of a talk show / variety, you had singing and then you had interviews and other sort of sections. So it was predominantly for the older folks that were stuck at home watching telly or the kids. But my mum would sing on it. And so when Irish television started in the 60s, she was the first female vocalist on there. And then, acted in lots of plays and everything else. But never would we be mobbed on the street or anything. It was just, oh, there's Anne. And like, they could shout abuses more at her, like giving out about yesterday's performance. Hello, Anne, you were shite yesterday. Oh, thank you. God bless.
Everyone's a critic.
Everyone's absolutely. And even, we'd go into, I remember being on holidays and going into hotels and stuff. And I'd see everybody looking up and they'd recognize her, but there was none of that sort of run over and grab a signature stuff. It was just a wave or a nod or else usually like they'd ask her to sing. We'd be in these hotel bars in Ireland are brilliant, where you just, everybody staying at the hotel would be in that bar at night. So it'd be packed and just a great atmosphere, and the hotel's bar stay open all night because there's no rules for them like the normal ones. And my mum would be up singing at, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, there'd be somebody playing the piano and she'd be singing away. And so it was just I grew up with a very different understanding of what success would mean. There was none of that fame and notoriety and paparazzis and all. To me, it just looked like, it means everybody knows you.
Oh, right. And it was like a job that you did.
Yeah, so you have loads of friends. Everywhere you go, people are buying you pints, and that was enough enthusiasm and encouragement for me to get into it right there. But yeah, my mum sort of insisted that I went to to college because she was scared. They were paid basically scale in those days. There was no major salaries. You know, it wasn't like Oprah Winfrey money just because you had a television show. So we grew up in sort of, you know, lived in a flat, and my mum worked another job as well to make ends meet, and parents were separated. So the old fella, although he was a hell of a character, he wouldn't have scored too highly in the dad department for looking out for us. So my mum pretty much raised us and had to pay for everything. So she had a second job, which was, you know, hilarious to me. You can imagine, like, you're watching Jimmy Fallon every Saturday night on his big television show. Then you find out he works at Subway during the day to make ends meet. You know, it is a mad concept. But
right.
She was out selling freezers, actually. I always remember freezers had just come out. You know, we had these freestanding freezers that you'd buy, and then you'd buy like half a cow and shove it in there. You know, I used to laugh when my mum would say that I bought half a cow for the freezer. I'd be like, they've chopped it up into little fucking bits, I hope. I hope we're not just putting like 2 legs and an ass, the back part of a cow, and trying to shove it in there, and then we're supposed to chop bits off it. And we want, but no, it was a little more civilized. And it came chopped up into pieces. But yeah, so she was like a model slash flyer distributor for these freezer companies. So yeah, so we grew. It was a very. I mean, I love it. I look back on it and I think, wow, what an interesting childhood we had. Of course, at the time, like everybody else, we just thought that was normal.
That's amazing. I mean, you just said, you know, back when freezers came out, that was amazing. So
I just aged
people,
myself.
you know, I often date myself, but then I use hand sanitizer afterwards.
That's good. That's perfect. I love that. Same dating. Did you meet yourself on the internet, or was it?
I was all over myself. The camera adds 10 pounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's all we do.
Did you lie to yourself in the internet picture?
I cried a little bit as I looked into my image. You know, all that stuff. Oh my God, it's getting weird. Let me reel it back in.
Yeah.
So speaking of getting pints bought for you, and you know, being an Irishman, so you come out to LA and you end up you own a bar. You're running a bar?
Yeah, I came out, the idea was to be a journalist. That's what I had got the degree in, and I thought I'd come to LA where my sister was, whereas everybody else was sort of going to the East Coast. The Irish thing was usually you showed up in Boston or New York because you'd know people who'd help you out. But my sister was here, so I ended up coming to LA, and there was really very few Irish here. The sister had a great sort of friend network, but they were all Americans and a couple of Irish. So I worked for PBS as an intern for a while and realized that was brutal and feck all money too. So at that point I started looking for ways to make money, and I ended up, it was a very strange how it happened. I started driving super shuttles from LAX airport, and I mean, I hadn't even driven a car in Ireland, never mind sit on the other side of the thing. So people took their life in their hands with me as I picked them up at the airport and tried to take them home. But so it ended up, I did that. I met a producer who got me into the PBS stuff. From there, I met people doing commercials. From there, I started set dressing. And then from there, I did a movie called Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which was absolute shite. But they shot it at nighttime. And the director was a first-time director, and she had made a kind of a bollocks of the first 3 months of it, so it had to be reshot. So we ended up, long story short, that the movie ended up going union. And so my money suddenly went from nothing to decent. And then I fluked into this pub in Santa Monica and bought a bar called Fair City. And that's where the band got signed. That's where Flogging Molly started, and a whole bunch of other bands that have kind of come and gone. But yeah, we ended up having for 4 years this just amazing live music vibe going on in Santa Monica.
That's amazing, because I think about, like, you know, it's, you know, stereotype, but I'm thinking like an Irish guy owning a bar is kind of like a monkey owning a banana stand. You know what I mean? Trying to make some money off of that. Exactly.
Only a monkey could probably make it successful. The problem is
you wouldn't be eating all your own supply.
I know, exactly. I feel like sitting there going, "Where do we have any monkey bananas left?" You're like, "No, you fucker, you ate them all." Really? Why did I do that? Because you're a monkey. Oh yeah.
Every day.
we ended up where, you know, I had so many musicians that were in that were coming in to play, but then I had a bunch of other musicians who were coming in to hang out. And so we ended up, the idea was you could drink for free. If you were doing a gig with us, you could drink for free at this little back bar we had. But I sort of overdid it. And because there were so